Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Scott, how are we?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Guys, we have organised to do our Sunday Night Lives in a professional studio. You've asked for it. And
I'm very happy to be doing this. We've had some issues with the audio timing and whatnot on the lives. So, and we've been requested many times, probably from the very first one. Will you guys do a podcast? Can you guys get on YouTube? Can you guys, do this in another format? And here we are.
So a big shout out to Bulldog Studios. Cham, I don't know, can you see that little logo behind me? Bulldog Studios, we'll give them a tag. They've just set up this studio. We're in Punt Road here.
In Windsor?
In Windsor. The address is 34 to 36 Punt Road from memory. Now, if you want to shoot your own podcast, make some music or do anything that's audio related, I want you to hit these guys up. It's a bit of a shout out for them. And their Instagram page is Bulldog Studios _. So Bulldog Studios _ and the address is 34 to 36 Punt Road here in Windsor. And this is where we probably will be doing some more content very soon. So Scott, how are we?
I'm great.
You look good. You look jacked. You must have a good training partner. You look huge.
It's the best.
So we had a lot of questions come in during the week. We will go through them and answer them. And hopefully you guys get something out of this content. So we'll get into it, Scott. First question. And these are anonymous questions, so we don't know who asked these.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you and Scotty get together with all the content and everything that you're doing?
Okay, I'll let you answer that.
Okay. So that's a really good question. So if you didn't know, Scotty's my coach, pretty much my best mate. His family's my big brother, and we train together, and he guides me in everything I do with the fitness, bodybuilding stuff, and life stuff, really. So I've always been training. Took a bit of time off. I wanted to get back into it, and I saw some of Scott's results, and I heard through the grapevine that you're a really good person. So I reached out to you, probably 2.5 years ago now?
Something like
maybe?
that, yeah.
And you started giving me some advice, and we did some face-to-face personal training. Frick, man, you were training me really, really hard. It was really fun. And I liked what you did so much that I kept training with you. And you actually really helped me with getting my macros sorted and using chronometer and things like that. And you were very diligent, so I liked that because I had a lot of coaches in the past that didn't actually teach me how to use apps like that and how to track my macros properly. I was kind of just following diet plans, and actually I always intuitively ate before that. I never really tracked a macro. So I liked what you did, and then you said, hey, why don't we train together? Because you train pretty hard. So we started training together. And then I thought to myself, far out, this guy's so good. We need to get him out there more. So I had a brilliant idea in the gym one day. I'm like, why don't we do, because you had 50 followers, literally 50 followers.
I didn't like posting. I really didn't.
You did no content. I'm like, get yourself out there. You're like, nah, you didn't want to do it. I'm like, you got to get yourself out there. So I'm like, why don't we do a Sunday night live? Because everyone's home on Sunday night, so that's where you do content. We'll get people to put questions in, and we'll answer them. We'll just see how we go.
I remember that, yep.
And you were like, fuck, you were shitting yourself.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. I was like, I said I'm going to do it. I have to follow through. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm a man of my word. I follow through with anything I promise anyone or I promise myself. Have to do it. So, I said I was going to do it.
Because people had been seeing us train together for quite a while before that. I really got back into shape. So we did that first Saturday Night Live. It went off. We had so many people viewing, so many questions that got put in. I asked them, you answered them. I might have put a bit of input in, really not that much. And then we're like, well, let's do it again next Sunday. And we had a little cult following of people tuning in every Sunday. So that's how it started. And then progressively over time, we just started creating more content, putting more things out. My objective was to get you more well-known so you can get more clients, and it worked. So, and then progressively, it worked too well. Now he has, you actually can't manage the inquiries you get. You've tried a few things to manage it, and we're always learning. But it really started from me reaching out, and then we started doing lives, which built a reputation of him being a specialist, and it looks good for me too because it gets me up and I'm training around the best. And then it pretty much went from there. Did you want to add anything?
Well, that's how I basically the clientele came is they'd see us do our lives. They liked what I had to say. They must have liked how I delivered it, and they wanted to learn more. And I'd find that, it wasn't always, the one time that they watched. They'd maybe watch, they've been watching numerous episodes before they actually approached me and said, you know what, this is, because people don't just going to make a snap decision on.
They sit on it for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So then they contact me, and I learned to manage the inquiries, and yeah, here we are.
I noticed that too. When someone buys something off Neverhome, I'll check the stats on Shopify. They've visited the store 22 times before they make a purchase over the past 3 weeks.
Wow.
So they're sitting there, they're thinking about it, then they come and buy back. So what I realize is people sit and watch for a while. Then once they know they're ready, they make the inquiry, or they go ahead. So I think if anyone watching this, if you're trying to build up a business or trying to get something happening with whatever you're doing, it takes time. You need to keep putting consistent content out there, and the consistency builds a rapport and trust, and then you become that center of knowledge that's always going to be there, and that's what we created. So it's been good, and man, I get to train with this guy every day. So that's
I feel very blessed too as well, because I saw Johnny's training intensity, and I feed off that. So I saw how hard he can push himself. I don't need to push him much. I know kind of what to say to flip the switch sometimes. I know it doesn't have to be some yelling in his ear crap and like that. I can just say the right thing, and it just comes alive. Not only that, he gives back. So he actually does the same for me. He knows how to flip my switches and get me G'd up to go a little harder as well. So it's a give and take. So I enjoy every minute of it.
And you're always on time too, which is good. I hate it when people are late at the gym. So
that was each other. I'm running 3 minutes late, like literally 3 minutes. Like,
yeah, it's okay. Don't stress. It's okay.
Yeah.
So that's how it happens. So if you got to learn something from that, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. These things are uncomfortable. These podcasts, you sit down, you put yourself out there, but it gets better with time.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable right now. If you can't
even before this, he was like, "Oh, I'm nervous." I'm like, "Bro, don't stress."
People say, "I didn't realize you were, you were uncomfortable with this," but I literally am. Like right now, I'm a little nervous. I'm probably sweating a little bit extra. And
like you didn't wear a grey shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying, I want to wear that gray number home, but I'm going to have pit stains if I do, right? So I'm not. I'm wearing black.
That's normal. It's normal. Okay, don't stress. But once you put yourself out of your comfort zone, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
So that's just that repetition.
It is easier, but I still get it. I'm not as. I know you don't understand it as much because you've probably been doing it for a longer time and you're much more comfortable in it. But until and I reckon maybe eventually I'll get to that stage.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But either way, I'm determined to do it regardless.
He pushes himself. All right, let's keep going. Really, general question here. What's your biggest fear?
I would say probably health and my family, as far as that's concerned. So I'd say, I've been in the hospital a couple of times for random things, and being in there is absolutely, it's scary, being, I guess, at somebody else's, when you're not capable of looking after yourself 100%, that's a scary position to be in. And the combination of that and not knowing is, either that or for my family being in that situation, I getting sick or being incapacitated is I'm not really afraid of death, but being in that situation is much different. And then also obviously, I want the best for my family and to be close with them. So that's.
I like that. It's funny you say that because when I walk around these shopping centres, I was at the fruit shop the other day and Dave's client came in, the lady that buys fruit and veg. And Dave goes, "How's your mum?" She goes, "Oh, she's not well. She's got cancer." And she was limping around, like only in her 50s. And I'm looking around Oakley and these shopping centres. A lot of people that haven't looked after themselves, just made bad choices, food choices, whatever they're doing. And I always see these people like, I don't want to be in that position where I'm in at 50 or 60 or 70 where I'm a burden on society, the healthcare system, my family. Like people have to go out of the way to help me. So that's why I make a conscious effort now to look after my health, eat fresh fruit and veg all the time. And my fear is different from that. It's probably not living up to my full potential. That's why now I'm working so hard consistently with training, trying to get content out. And I'm just not afraid to do new things and fail. I read a book the other day that said, the most successful people, the ones that have just failed so many times, they just keep going.
Yeah, you don't hear about that. You see somebody that's made it all the way to the top and you're like, oh, they got lucky or whatever it is. You don't hear about all the times they fell over before they got there.
Yeah, so My fear is just not being the best Johnny freaking Starr I can.
And this is the other thing about the health side of things. This is why I'm very adamant about getting, not only for myself, but also for my clients, is getting your blood work done.
Tomorrow morning, that's what I'm doing.
Yep, getting your blood work every 3 months, getting your blood pressure done regularly, checking up on everything. Because some of the other risks that we take with a bodybuilding lifestyle, we got to offset that. We got to make sure that we're not taking too many risks. I don't want to shorten a person's life.
Yeah, we should talk about that more too. In bodybuilding, we're so into the way we look and being so muscular that these peds that we're taking too can get quite addictive, and people can just start taking too much. You would have seen it over the years.
Most definitely.
And it can be detrimental to your health. So the good thing about Scott, and this is not a hard sell, but honestly, he makes me do my blood work. We're in the gym the other day. You said, do it now.
Yep.
Book the test. It's $170. Get the sports science blood work, then add your iron into, done. You made me do it. I paid it there, on the spot. Yep. And now I'm getting my blood work done tomorrow just to check on my health markers too, because we started to push things a little bit more than we usually do because I wanted to look jacked for this time of year. You're going to read the blood work and then we'll assess it after that. So that's really important. We better keep going. There's so many questions. Does it ever get overwhelming, Scott, having the amount of clients you have currently, and is the spike in clients only recent?
Okay, the spike in clients was a while back. It was probably over a year ago, after we started doing all these lives and whatnot, and it was getting a little overwhelming, and because I didn't have the right systems in place. But once I got the systems in place and handled the inquiries, I'm in a much better spot right now, even though I have a little bit of a waiting list. I've gotten on top of it much better. And, the thing about me is I don't want to bring anyone on that I can't service. I want to be able to get back to people on a regular basis. The biggest complaint I get about other coaches, and this isn't to bag anyone out, but I get that they don't get the attention that they need. They don't, they might ask a question, they don't get it answered for, days, a week, and then they get an invoice,
Yeah.
And this is, that's not what I want to be seen as. I want to be able to be there for someone, whatever they need, whenever they need. And I don't want to book myself too full to the ability not to be able to do that.
So do you say no now if you can't take anyone
Most
on?
definitely.
Yeah. So that's where
I look at it and I say, okay, when can I take somebody else on? So I look at how many I've got. I look at what's coming up. I know, for example, I was traveling in over Christmas. I went to the States for the Olympia, and then I was going to Queensland the week after. So I didn't take anybody new on prior to that. And I said, no, it's going to have to be after I come back.
Responsibility.
And after I came back, I incrementally took a few more people on. Let's see how I can sit with that, right? And now, can I manage my time? Who checks in on time? Who's late? And so on and so forth. Then I look at my days and go, okay, where can I maybe put a person in? Because I can only do so many check-ins in one day.
So do they have to check in a certain time? Like every single person has a set time? Is that
it's a set day. So anytime during that day.
Because I know mine was on Mondays when I was checking in.
Yep. So at any point during that day, you send your pictures through, you fill out your spreadsheet, you make sure your nutrition and your training is all up to date in your apps, and then I review that. And so I might have to make sure that I'm able to give enough attention on that particular day to every person that's doing their check-in, as well as the other questions that come in from all my other clients on a random basis.
Touching on that too, off topic, one of my friends was too scared to contact you because he wasn't a competitive bodybuilder. And I said, hey, most of his clients are just the general population that just want to look good for... Yeah. They don't have to compete and want to get a pro card. No. Like, not everyone works out wants to get a pro card.
No, absolutely.
Look at me. I'm working out now because I love it.
Yeah.
In the future, I like to compete, but right now I'm just enjoying it. You know what I mean?
So, and I want people that are very passionate about, I actually don't mind people that have come in from other coaches, because they are willing to, hold themselves accountable to someone. They're willing to do what's necessary. So actually, I actually enjoy that. But the majority of my clients, aren't stepping on stage. But they have some definite physique goals, and some of them make some phenomenal changes.
Look at Dunsi.
Yeah, amazing.
I said Dunsi.
He might eventually get on stage. You never know.
He should. He's a good looking rooster. Would rather worry about recovering LH and FSH every 12-week cycle, or keep cruising. I meant if liver and kidneys are fine and in the blood work, but LH and FSH had gone less than 1.
Okay. So what they're referring to is when you are taking testosterone, your natural levels are going to be suppressed. and your follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone are gonna dive when you're in a super physiological dosages. Now, what they're asking is, after 12 weeks, do you come off and let that restore?
Or just cruise.
Or just cruise. Now, you could look at it a couple different ways. That is one way to look at it. But if you're planning on just coming back to get it restored and then going back on,
what's the point?
What's the point? You know, because we look at what is going to cause the most significant stress on your body. For one thing, if you're taking large amounts of PEDs, that's going to put a lot of stress on your body. We don't want to look at that. We want to look at all to make sure you're taking the least amount possible to get the best possible results. And also, if you are looking at coming off entirely, you're going to go through a period where your levels go basically down to zero. You go into a hypogonadal state after being suppressed. And that's not ideal. That's going to be a stress on your body. It's going to be a stress on your mind too as well. So these high highs and these low lows are a lot to take on. So we want to put the least amount of stress on our body as we possibly can by taking the least amount, and then periodically increasing those when we're pushing things up or in a contest phase, and then all the while getting all our health markers. But if fertility are on the cards, definitely we'll need to look at, resetting that.
Coming off for a while and resetting,
Yeah, and staying off for a decent amount of time. So if you're gonna come off entirely, stay off.
Yeah,
for
a couple
6
years,
months, 12 months, however long. Restore that. Maybe look at even freezing some sperm and getting your everything in order as far as that's concerned.
Got a few mates that have done that.
Yeah.
This is a crucial question. Who would win in an arm wrestle? Me or you? I think you would win the arm wrestle, bro, no doubt.
I don't know about my joints. I don't know.
Look at his arms, look at mine. It's a big difference. All right. Okay, this is one question for me. How's the brand Neverhome going? The stuff looks so well made. So, yeah, it's going really good. I put a lot of effort into the brand last year. I mean, that's the reason I'm working so hard in my real estate. Firstly, I love real estate, but I need an income to supplement Neverhome and invest in the brand. So, like this shirt I designed myself. Thank you very much. The shorts I made, they keep selling out because I made them. I spent a lot of time designing them. I wanted something that's really short to show the quads and sexy with pockets with a bit of stretch. That's why they got a bit of spandex in them. So the brand's going well. I'm expanding the range slowly within my limits because sometimes I get too excited with the brand and I'm trying to do too much, but I really slowed it down a little bit too because I wanted to keep all the costs in-house. I've seen so many people, start brands. Most people fail when they start a clothing brand. I know hundreds I can think of over the past 10 years that I've seen that have started, but no one's really stuck through. There's only a couple that really make it. So I feel slow and steady wins the race. So that's why I make the podcasts. It's a law of reciprocation. I give content. I keep giving because I feel as though it's the right thing to do, and the brand has a good meaning. So
I know a number of people, including my clients, that they love the clothes, but they also buy some of it to support what you're doing, because you've given a lot of information out and a lot of help for encouragement for a lot of people. You've got a lot of positive impact for a lot of people out there. I mean, and the other thing is, I know you're not in a hurry to launch any particular item. I see him coming in the gym with a new single. I'm like, oh, that's nice. It's got the Neverhome logo. He's it's not ready yet. And he'll come back and it's the logo's in a slight different spot. I'm like, oh, that's even better. And he'll go back and forth till he gets it just right.
I'm an absolute perfectionist, so I've taken years to find the right suppliers. I do all the designs myself. I want them to make us look good, especially the men's stuff. I'm working on women's. That's going to be great, but that's taking a bit more time because I'm not a chick. So I'm asking all the girls I know to help me, especially my girlfriend, some girls from the gym. But I'm spending so much time because I know when I put these products out, everyone knows it's quality and it's affordable. Like I'm not asking an arm and a leg for what I'm putting out there. It's because my expenses are low because I all ship from my home office. I do the designs. I make the content. I don't actually, it's all organic. So
You're going to outgrow that very soon. You're going to have to find a solution.
Tomorrow I'm going to a warehouse to suss it out, the 3PL. But I'm comfortable at this stage. Yeah. And man, like literally, I only got 300 of these shirts. That's all I ordered. I'm not doing.
They'll be gone.
1,000 shirts. The shorts I only do 300 at a time. So there's not actually as many clothes out there as you think. But I love the fact that people support it. So look, it's my dream. I got 5-10 year goals with it. We'll see how it goes. But I'm very confident in it. So thanks for that question. The quality is very good. Okay. Is this, Scott, and for me too, is this the best shape, condition, and the biggest you've ever been? For me, it is. It's definitely the biggest. Now I'm 90 kilos, finally lean 90 kilos.
Lean, yeah.
I dreamt of that, and I got there. Took me 33 years.
Yeah.
But I did
last year you were about 83 kilos with this level of conditioning. So you've put on probably 6 kilos of
is that a lot? I think that's a lot.
So even if a competitive bodybuilder, let's say, puts on 4 kilos of lean muscle tissue a year on stage, that's significant. That will show up on stage in a great way.
Yeah.
But if you break that down, some people are too big a hurry to jump on scale weight. But if you break down, let's say you put on 4 kilos in a year, that's going to be
300 grams.
300 grams a month.
Yeah, is that right?
That's going to be, less than 100 grams a week. So you don't want to be, you think about what other kind of weight are you pushing up when you're gaining a kilo a week. Yes, sometimes that needs to happen. We need to push things up, and you are going to gain a little bit of fat in a growth phase, but we need to keep that in check.
But I actually grow and stayed lean, Scott. I can do this. You know, I'm pretty damn lean, so I think it's possible to actually grow and be lean. Imagine if I actually push the
next
food
season.
more.
I think we want to push things up a little bit more. Let's get you over 100 next year.
I'd love to be 100 kilos.
Off season over 100, and then we'll diet it back down. See if we can put on another 4 or 5 kilos on you.
Oh, for sure. Because remember, I had a tendon injury too, so I couldn't train upper body hard for 6 months.
Yeah.
I did like 3 holidays as well, where I probably could have been better with the food.
Yeah.
And what else was I going to say? Oh, but you know why I made so much progress? I said on this podcast the other week, I didn't drink.
Oh yeah.
Didn't do drugs. Didn't smoke. Didn't do anything stupid for the whole year. Even when I went on holidays, I tracked my food. I didn't do anything stupid. And I've been in rooms where there's guys racking coke in front of me.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
And that was your
that was my weakness before.
That was your weakness. That was your kryptonite. And you
know.
Yeah.
And that was, I had to get away from, I spoke to you about this someone before, I had to get away from a few nice people. Just my goals are so much different now, where I just really believe I want to really be the best I can be. So I know in 5 years' time, I don't even know where I'm going to be, because I'm learning more too, thanks to you. I can afford some growth hormone now as well. Okay. For you though, you were saying before, this is the best shape you've been in? Or you've probably been in better shape younger?
No, because, let's be realistic.
How old are you now? 37? 49. 50 in November?
50 in November.
Yeah.
So, my age, I'm doing all right. And I'm still able to progress, not at my best point, but I just wish I knew what I knew what I knew back then in my 20s and 30s, when I was doing competitive bodybuilding.
Fuck, that makes me feel so grateful that I'm learning this from you now at my age.
Yeah, so look, I really, that's why I enjoy passing on the knowledge that I do to, competitors and people like yourself, because, I feel like I can almost live through you guys. I might not, be as big and muscular as I've ever been. However, I can still stay in decent shape. And I can watch people be at their very best.
Do you know what I like about you? You're actually a coach that's in shape. Like, it doesn't matter, because a lot of coaches aren't. Like, look at Hani Rambod, right? He looks like a pizza delivery guy, yeah? But he's had the experience. He knows what he's doing. But it'd be nice if he kept training, was like in shape like you. That would be cool. But he's probably got too much going on. But I like the fact that you're always in shape still. And you're always training.
Therapy. The training is still my therapy.
Yeah. And no offense to trainers that aren't in shape, like, it's fine. But I think it shows that how you actually live the lifestyle as well. And it shows that you have so many clients, yet you manage your life with 2 kids and a wife who has a business that runs from home as well. Like, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
He still managed to track his food, train, and manage his whole life. So it is doable, but he's very disciplined.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Comes down to discipline too. And it's like me in my real estate. So I think that's
when I hear people make excuses about some, like, oh, don't get me started. Some people, the tiny little inconvenience comes up, and then, I can't train, I can't do this, can't do that. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, so for me and you, my training comes first, and everything else revolves around it.
Yeah.
With the real estate or what, that's what works for me, because then I'm happy that I'm in shape.
Yeah.
And so I'm always in shape now, because I'm always training with you. But not everyone can get to that mental place of doing that. So I encourage you to try and push yourself a bit, get more sleep, get more structure in your day, organize your clothes, organize your house, do your meal prep. Because once all that's aligned, you can drain. You're not stressed, you know? All right, let's keep going because we're blabbing on. Okay, who's your best friend? So my best friend's probably my girlfriend, Cham behind the camera, and Scott. They're probably my three best mates.
Yeah, I'd say my family. You know, my wife, my kids. You know, they're my friends. They're my everything. And you.
Oh yeah.
Aside from that, you know, I'm really I don't have time to, you know, and I'm not real social, so just stay in my.
You're just always working, doing check-ins. Yeah. Thoughts on tongat Ali and stacking natural test boosters over gear?
Not the same. You know, some of these herbs and natural ingredients can help. Like, you know, even things like boron can help increase free test levels. Even vitamin D can do that to some degree if you're natural. But tongat Ali to some degree. All these can make a very, very small difference. But it's not going to be the same. And I'm not encouraging pet use. In fact, quite the opposite. In fact, people come to me and they're like, "Oh, what can I do to start with?" This is a question I get quite often. What gear can I take? And I'm like, whoa. You know, let's look at what are the things you're doing. Let's get everything else right first.
Do you find a lot of people jump to the gear first before they get everything else right?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And there's where I back people off. I said, no, let's get as much things right as you can, for as long as you can. And you know, sometimes I've held people off for months and months and months, if not over a year at times, where they, you know, I don't encourage the use, you know, I really don't. But if someone's going to do it anyway, I'll try to get them to do it as safely as possible. But we've held off people for a very, very long time because, you know why? They're seeing results by doing everything else right. And they're like, I said, well, you happy? Like you're gaining this muscle, this strength, and this, that, and the other, you know?
Man, when I started with you had me on 1 ml of sus for a year. That was it, 250 milligrams. That was it. I'm like, can we do more? You're like, don't need it. Getting the results.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. Why?
Exactly.
Why
I had one client once who was taking something, and I kept asking him to get his bloods done. You know, I said, let's get your bloods done. All right. And he was reluctant or whatever, too busy, whatever it might be. And he was taking something and you know, some test or whatever it might be. He would taken it before he started with me, but he was seeing really good results. You know, he was seeing all this progress and everything like that. He finally got his bloods done.
Through the roof?
No.
Nothing.
It was fake, right? So what he was taking something fake, and he was so depressed. He's like, can't believe it. I said, man, that's the best news ever.
That's awesome.
I said, you haven't put any stress on your body, right? From any peds.
Yeah, you can actually naturally all these get
results.
Yeah,
and you know your health markers are perfect, right? And now get this: if you do want to take anything, you now can level up by taking the smallest amount of something, and you're going up again from there. So look at it that way. That's an awesome situation.
So going back to that question, should they not take it? Stacking natural test boosters over gear? No.
What I'm saying is it's two different. It's apples and oranges. Yeah. It's apples and oranges. You can't really compare as far as that's concerned. I haven't seen anything that works absolute wonders in that regard, to be honest.
And off topic, you train natural bodybuilders too, right?
Yeah, in fact, yeah, most definitely.
Don't know why you'd be natural, but anyway.
Quite the opposite.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm trying to be funny. Does it bother you that so many guys comment on your posts?
That must be to you because I don't post a whole lot.
No, not at all. You know,
Don't you want like for Instagram algorithm? Don't you want people to comment?
Isn't
that what you want? People to comment?
They're saying specifically guys. Like nah.
And you don't get as much. Like, I guess you've had the negativity and the hate in the past. It's not.
I get it. I get heaps hate on TikTok though.
Oh really? Okay,
yeah. It's so TikTok's bad, bro. Fuck.
But
these kids like. That chest press we did where it kind of like sat in your hand? Some kid's like, you're not a real man. He's like 14. I'm like, you're right, bro. You're right. I'm just trying to show the machine to promote the gym, yeah.
Oh, like, my God.
These kids don't give a fuck.
Wow. Well, I'm really glad you've got that resilience, though, you know, where it doesn't affect you because people can be horrible.
Nah, you the way you interact or respond to things is like you have to control your emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm very good at staying calm in any situation. Even when that client called me yesterday, something horrific happened. I'm like, don't stress. We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
This is another quote, just a statement. I think you're stunningly beautiful, best part is your smile and your attitude. Thank you very much. Someone said that, obviously to you. Okay, this is a good question. Your journey seems unique. This is to me. We want to learn more. You rent something basic, have a basic car, however, have a great job, mindset's good. You have strong savings in the bank too. I remember you saying your dad controls your savings and spending still. Do you intend on buying your own place eventually? So that's a good question. So when I was heavily doing drugs, I would spend my money on Coke. You know, I get I freaking love Coke. You know, the way it makes you feel. So I'm like, all right, well, got to get my shit together. How can I mitigate all these problems and take some responsibility? So what I did was, because sometimes I'd actually make pretty good money from commissions. It just vanish because I keep thinking I'm just going to keep making more. So I said, Dad, need you to take my funds, put into an account, and then you manage it all. And every time I have a bill, I'm going to send it to you. You pay it for me. So it's like my accountant. And then if I need money for food or anything, I just send him a text. He'll transfer me some money. We've done that for like 3 or 4 years. Bro, it's allowed me to really make a lot of savings because I couldn't go and buy drugs. So now, actually, this week, I'm taking control again of it all because Dad's, I just want to take everything off Dad's shoulders now. And I'm ready now because I know I can control it. So I can finally say, hey, I'm at a stage now where I can fully control everything too. And the reason I just keep my expenses low is because I have a mentor who's very successful. He's worth 60 mil, which is a lot of money. And I see him every week. He's a real estate guy. Does developments, and he said to me, you need to learn how to live poor because you never know when things are going to come up. So I don't own a car still because I don't care what people think if I drive the Camry. I honestly don't give a fuck, and it keeps my expenses. I have a lot of cash flow with work and things too, so it's a Camry. Like there's no issues with it, so it frees me up, and then I can put my money into stock with Never Home. Or I can, I went on 3 holidays last year because I had a bit more money. But when I was leasing the fancy cars and the M3s and the Lexuses and I had all these cars, it cost you about $2,000 a month with insurance and petrol and everything. Now that $2,000 a month I can put into Never Home stock if I'm doing pre-workouts or samples like that. So I just decided to live poor within my means, and that's why I do my meal prep. So I make sure I spend as little as I can, the cheapest phone plans, and it gives me more room to do things. So if there's ever an issue, all my invoices are paid up front for my clothes. Like last week, $7,000 invoice, boom, no worries. $14,000 invoice, no worries, because I had the money there that's saved. Because all the money coming in from the real estate, and then any money from the clothes goes back into the clothes. So I'm using my own money for the business. I went to get a business loan. I'm like, wait a second, I don't need to do that because I've got my own cash flow with it now. So now I'm not strapped paying interest on loans. It's probably smarter if I went and got a loan and put my money into it, but I'm more comfortable. So that's why I live this way, and it's just comfortable for me. And then if I make a couple $100 million and this thing takes off, I might go buy a Ferrari, but I kind of don't. I'm over it now anyway. So that's why I live like that. And property-wise too, I'm just focusing on the brand. So I believe in the brand so much right now, and people are getting tattoos of the brand on them, like Alex Nolden just got a tattoo. 5 people had the brand tattooed on them. If I keep going at this momentum, it'll figure itself out and it will expand, like, because I keep figuring things out too. Yeah. So I believe in it so much, and I think, okay, I work so hard that it can't fail because I do too much work on it. Like today all morning I was working on the brand or working on real estate. So I know, okay, I can get this 500K revenue, $1 million revenue, then 10, then 20, then 30. It'll naturally happen just with time if I just keep chipping away at it, and then I'll figure it out. But I've just got to stay focused on this every day. So that's what I'm doing. So right now I'm not even too focused on real estate. I just want to push the brand. Okay. Should I be deloading whilst in the middle of a cut?
Good question. It depends. So how we look at deloads is when your performance starts to fade. If, in a cut, what we're trying to do is we're trying to hold on to as much muscle as humanly possible while we're getting lean. Now, we found you've done a great job of being able to do that. In fact, you're still getting stronger on some lifts, so this is really good. But I think you were feeling a little bit burnout a few weeks ago, and we're like, you know what? Let's actually do a deload this week. I was getting in that same spot, so we pulled back the volume massively.
Best thing I did.
And even at that stage, if somebody's in a deep cut, what we might even do is push food up a little bit to maintenance calories. So we're still not going to be putting fat on, but we're giving our body a rest. So what we're trying to do is take as much stress off from different angles as we can. So we're taking stress off the training side of things by pulling back the volume. We're taking stress off the low calories, so we're pulling back, we're pushing up the food just a little bit, closer to maintenance, letting your nervous system recover. Even during that week, I like to focus on parasympathetic activities.
Explain that.
Parasympathetic, that's that rest and digest. That's that breathe and feed. So it's going to be more relaxation stuff. So if you can get a massage, go for a walk, barefoot on the beach or the grass, we call that grounding. Focus on breathing and meditation just to really clear out your all that stress that you have on your sympathetic nervous system. And that's that fight, flight, or freeze. That's sympathetic, and that's when we are, in a stressor, such as training, high intensity cardio, even the increased cortisol from a low calorie diet. All those are stressors, right? We need a break from that at times. Now you got to be far enough out in a prep to be able to do that. So you can't, manage it according to how close you are to the show and when that comes up. So sometimes you have, got to decide, okay, are we in a position where we can do this? And sometimes it might not be for a full week, but we time it accordingly. Everybody's a little bit different, so it's a case by case basis. I can't say exactly, this is going to work in every situation. We analyze it based on the person.
I think you'd want to do it in a cut because
most definitely
that's the most important time. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Is that TV? No, I've heard of it. Look, I don't have time to watch.
I've never watched it.
So
no.
Yeah,
Apparently good though.
Yeah.
Do you watch it, Champ? No. Champ's too busy with his kids.
Yeah.
I've never watched it. That was a random question.
Yeah.
How do you balance it all?
I've got to stop.
Go on.
I took my youngest boy, to movies the other day. I watched Lyle the Crocodile. It's the first thing I've watched in
Was it good?
I was amazing. Because I haven't watched. No, it's actually a movie.
Have you seen it?
And maybe because I don't watch any TV or anything like that, and I actually got some downtime to watch something. I really
What's it called? Lyle the Crocodile.
Lyle the Crocodile. It's about this crocodile in New York, and he can't talk, but he can sing.
Can we put up on the screen? It's probably too much work.
It's really good.
Every time we see a podcast, like, we'll put it up, but they never do. It's all, they're fucking too lazy. We're not going to put anything up, so we're not going to hold ourselves to that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is to me, but to you too. How do you balance it all together and not want to party? You honestly are dedicated as a goat, trying to headbutt while anything. Lol, mad respect. So you've probably gone through your party days now.
Most definitely over and done with that.
Did you party hard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And probably for too long. If I could do anything, I'd probably, I don't regret, I can empathize with people that are in that stage trying to balance it all.
Got to get out.
Yeah.
Get out of the system.
But, I probably did it for, because when I first came to Australia, I had a bit different scene. I'd kind of gone through it a little bit in the US, and I actually liked the party scene in Australia a little bit better,
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, well, there's this club and then that club. And there's an after-hours club. We wouldn't come home for...
Kicking on, baby.
Keep kicking on it. It's about the music and the feel and all that kind of stuff. And it probably, it probably extended it on a little longer than I should have. And results as far as the training goes, pretty non-existent. Because you take 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. But, as far as... I wish I would have probably stopped a lot earlier and gotten into what I'm doing now a little bit more. I was still doing, some PT and things like that then, but yeah, you live and you learn.
I used to love to party, and I probably still would if I had the chance, but I don't have the desire for it anymore. I went to 30th with my missus the other night. Man, I didn't want to be there. It's just like having mindless conversations with people. That small talk. Hey, how you doing? Oh, what do you do? Yeah, okay. I'm like, fuck, get me the fuck out of here.
And if they had too many drinks, they ask the same questions again.
Everyone's drinking, and I'm like, I'm just like, please get me home. I want to go rest.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm like that. I'm just so over that. But partying is fun. So if you're going through that stage, man, by all means, get it out. There's sacrifices you make. So It will take back a little bit from your training, depending how hard you go. But you can still go out. I mean, I did a festival last year, reminisce with my missus. Man, I freaking put 2 wraps in my bum bag with chicken and a little bit of, I think, rice and stuff with foil. And I got it because I saw Chris Bumstead do it. I'm like, I'll do that too. Yeah. And I was eating freaking chicken wraps at the festival. Yeah. Walked around, partied, and I left. So if as long as you get the food in, you can do it. There's ways around it.
And I would say also this: pick your poison. So if you're going to be doing peds and all this kind of stuff, don't be doing the other party stuff at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, at that point, pick whatever.
Just do a line of Coke, some Ket, some MD, Tren, Debo.
No.
Oh, okay. No. Do one or the other.
One or the other.
Or don't do anything.
Don't do it.
Yeah, so I'm past all that. Okay, thoughts on? Fuck, it's been a while. There's like 40 more questions. We're not going to finish this.
Okay,
we'll have to leave for next time.
Okay.
Thoughts on taking creatine when on prep and on starting a cut, bro?
Yeah, creatine. Have it in all the time.
Doesn't it make you fat and bloated?
They've actually shown some interesting effects of creatine that has some cognitive effects. So
really,
yeah. So some benefit to your brain. So
there you go, champ. Getting a bit out of this.
Yes. So yeah, creatine, and you get the fluid that you hold is generally intramuscular anyway. So don't worry about it. It's not gonna make you fat or bloated.
Now, do you lose your hair though on creatine? No, I heard a lot of people say they lose their hair.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah. Okay. Biggest regrets?
I wouldn't say I have any major regrets. I would say, I've really found my calling. I really enjoy what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I wish I would have started a little earlier. I can thank you for getting me out there and getting me doing this. It's never too late. However, I wish I maybe would have stopped the partying a little earlier and started into this. Maybe I wasn't ready at the time.
But the timing, it all fell into place anyway for me too. Remember?
Yeah.
First time I was supposed to meet up with him, I was cooked the night before.
Oh yeah.
I was still doing drugs, and I didn't show up. I had a bender, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not ready yet. And then I saw Mina. Mina goes, hey, you let Scotty down. I'm like, fuck, you're right. That really encouraged me too. So I had to get myself clean, and then contact Scott, and I was like, I'll show him.
And I was reluctant at first. I was like, because I've been in situations where people have cleaned themselves up and it's only temporarily. They go back
it's easy to fall back into those habits.
I was like, we'll see. And he fixed me up, paid me for what you owed, and made sure you were okay. Then he was on time, and then he was over. Like, he was actually doing more than I required. I think you were even paying more than I required. Like, you were going above and beyond. And I'm like, this guy's on it.
I felt guilty, and I thought, I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah. So I was impressed.
Because deep down, I really always, because I had a lot of hard times, man. I had a very toxic relationship with someone that was lying to me. Like, I kind of believed her too. I had lost my license for a year. Actually, a drug dealer took my car, and he went through a speeding thing, and I had to cop it. So the car got impounded. I went to court, all this shit. Broke an IVO with someone else. Fucking had to go to court for that. Lawyers. There's a lot of shit that happened. You knew me back then, right? I was working without getting paid for a year and walking to work. I had no money. I was broke. I was on Centrelink. This is like within the last 5 years. Like, I fucking thought my life, I fucked it. I've lost everything. I remember I was walking around buying my groceries, like struggling for cash flow, like struggling. And then I'm like, fuck, bro, this is up to me. No one is going to fix my life but me. And I know the catalyst to me getting better is if I start training my ass off and eating well. So I made the decision to go contact you. And before that, I did it myself, though. I got back, I shredded all the fat.
You got rid of the fat.
Yeah.
You probably were under eating, lost a bit of muscle.
I didn't give a fuck. I was just get shredded.
Just wanted to get
because I still look pretty decent.
I think you were like 80 kilos or something at the time, or
something ridiculously
like
light,
really low. Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, now I'm back with my momentum. I've got to really step it up with you.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing I did, man, because training saved my life. And then once the training's good, fuck, man, confidence is back. Because I wasn't confident. lost my confidence. My real estate picked up, started killing auctions. Everyone treats you different when you're in shape. I don't care what anyone says. People treat you different, you know, because they know the hard work that goes into it. And it was just a rippling effect. Now I'm unfucking stoppable, you know, because my mindset's been so good. So this came from the question, biggest regrets, was it?
I don't know.
I can't even remember. But anyway, why I'm going that tangent was get your shit together. No one's going to fix it, but you some Andrew Tate shit, bro. Seriously. Like, you've got to take responsibility. It was up to me, you know. I didn't want to let you down. So thanks, Mina, as well, from My Body Clinic too. If I didn't have that conversation with Mina, I wouldn't be here. He really pushed me to get back training with you. And then, man, see, fucking look what happens. We push content, making this. You're probably watching this, getting inspired, going, fuck, I'm a shit cunt right now. Johnny did it. I can do it. It's all possible if you just really work your ass off, you know? Okay, love your content, inspiring the younger generation. Thank you. Do you blast and cruise or jump on and off? We kind of answered that one before.
Probably that with the FSH and LH question beforehand, yeah.
When do you enjoy a cheat meal and how often? How big are your cheat meal portions, and in calorie-wise, do you have limits?
Okay. Well, I usually encourage people to have higher carb days, whether we do a singular high carb day to get that, you know, glycogen super compensation effect where you get this fullness about you. Your training goes great, lower cortisol levels, all that kind of cool stuff. Or we do, if we're in a cut phase, we might even do what we call a diet break, where we push carbs up for maybe 3 to 5 days, maybe even up to a week, more to maintenance calorie levels. And that can work on other hormonal systems because that can help increase thyroid function, decrease cortisol during that time as well, increase leptin, another hormone that can help with your metabolism. So we do those things. I'm not really big on cheat meals as such. You've got, the cheat meal is generally consistent of a lot of fat and a lot of carbs in one hit. Yeah. And the calories can go just through the roof. Digestion can go out the window. Yeah. And so.
I shit like a motherfucker if I have a oily.
Yeah. So it's not ideal for performance. If you want to have a little something, we can factor that in. So sometimes I give people that option if they've been craving something for a while, to throw that in instead. But my preference would be to do it through carbs and whatnot. And if you're eating enough carbs, yes, the fat's a little lower on that stage. It's not as enjoyable, but then you don't get in that perpetual cycle of those cravings as much either. So,
and I just don't have cheat meals. I never do.
I might have a little bite of something here, a little bite of chocolate, a little bite of, but it's about control. It's about self-control. Some people don't have that. Some people can't just have a bite of something.
I lied. My girlfriend made a baked cheesecake for Christmas. I had a slice of that. Yeah. That was the last thing I had probably in the last year.
And I remember you did some stories a while back, right? And there was like some desserts. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, don't worry, I just had a bite. And I know you actually will just have a bite.
I have a bite. I showed have a bite. And I don't eat
and you just don't eat the rest. Yeah, right? Like people thinking you must be binging on thousands of calories, and you don't. No. You wouldn't look like you do if you did, right?
Exactly.
Plain and simple.
I eat. I don't know anyone that eats. Well, I try my best to eat well. There's probably people that do eat better. Okay. Would you recommend a 16-year-old that's been at the gym for 5 months to use any supplements, or wait till he's 18?
Well, there's some basics, like if you want to get some more protein in, you get good
protein, creatine,
some creatine. Yeah,
that's it.
Just
that's all you need really at that age. Absolutely. That's what I took.
Yeah,
protein and creatine, and I bought out glutamine and leucine because I read it on bodybuilding.com.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like all my money was going on subs. Okay, what intra workout should I utilize whilst cutting, and what dosages?
Okay, so I still recommend intra workout well in a deficit. A lot of people are like, I don't want to waste my carbs on a drink, right? I said, that's fine. We can add a little bit to that.
20, 30 grams of cyclic dextrin?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You usually use 20, 30 grams of highly branched cyclic dextrin along with some essential amino acids. You can put some creatine in there too as well, some electrolytes, intra workout. That's going to help lower your cortisol levels. It's going to help
fuel your workout too?
A little bit, but it's also going to increase glycogen retention for your next workout. And the chances of you putting on any body fat from those carbs to have during your session
doesn't happen.
Just not going to happen. You're going to be the most insulin sensitive during your training session than any other time.
See, babe, I told you could have carbs intra workout. I was telling her, have some Vitago.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. Listen, you can, see. She'll hear it from you, she'll do it now.
So just a little bit during your training. And like I said, during around the time of your training, you're going to be the most insulin sensitive more than any other time throughout the day. So it's going to be utilized very well.
Beautiful. Can you name one audiobook that you like, Scott? They've asked for some audiobooks. You listened to a great one, that TED one.
Yeah, I've been listening to one. I haven't been able to learn to apply it just yet. So I listen to what, because if I'm going to be doing these podcasts and these talks and whatnot, I've got to learn to be able to present better. And, there was one I listened to, Talk Like TED, and they analyzed these TED Talks and how people gave, they gave some statistics, they gave some, relatable stories. There's different techniques that they would use, even speed of presentation. There's all kinds of things that were in there. I'm trying to still get my head around it all, but quite interesting stuff. I think you'll really enjoy that, especially with the auctions.
I listened to the sample of it, and I was really impressed, because when you talk, you can pause, get attention. You can talk slower. You can talk a little bit louder, and you can talk with conviction too and passion. When you talk with passion, you get it across and you mean it. People are really captivated by it. So I try and talk in certain ways. But one thing I organized for 2023 was I did 47 audiobooks last year, which was a decent amount. People don't do it in their lifetime. I thought, okay, how can I step it up? Because those audiobooks changed my life. And I do it when I clean the house, wash the car, do meal prep, or do cardio. Or if I'm not training with you, I do an audiobook. Actually, a lot of time in the day, you could actually listen to audiobooks. You'd be surprised. So I said, I'm going to do 2 audiobooks a week, which is 104 for the year, which over 10 years will get me, I think, is that 1,000 audiobooks? Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, fucking that's a lot of knowledge. And every time I read a book, I get a lot of knowledge. So this year I've done 6 audiobooks. I'm on to my 7th. And I'll tell you the ones I've read for this year, all amazing. And a lot of them are free on YouTube. So in January, I've read these ones. Never Split the Difference. Can't remember the author's name. Incredible book about negotiation. He was a hostage negotiator. That's really good. These are all Brian Tracy ones. No Excuses, Brian Tracy. Incredible. The Power of Self-Confidence, Brian Tracy. You'll love that one. Brian Tracy Goals. Bloody brilliant. 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness, Jim Rohn. And Take Charge of Your Life, Jim Rohn. They're the last 6 I've read, and they've all been amazing. But these old school guys, the Americans, Jim Rohn and Brian Tracy, oh my God, I listen to them. I'm like, I can do anything. That's how it makes me feel.
I remember listening to that back in like 1990 or something, right?
89 he was doing it.
I remember like when I was managing a Gold's Gym, the owner of the gym was like, I want you to listen to these about sales and about, relating to people. Because he saw something in me, right? I was real shocked. Kind of like you probably, wanted to bring me out. He saw something in me as well.
You're a good salesperson.
I was 18 or whatever. I was pretty young. And he was like, I want you to listen to these. And
changes your life, right?
And so it was.
Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy.
And who's the other one? I'm trying to think. I'll think of it.
Check out The Appearance of Power. It's about aesthetics. It's actually a book about people. Unfortunately, people really, it's sad, but people will judge you on how you look. It's just how the world is. So if you're a really good looking girl, you get anything you want. It's just how it is. If you're a really good looking guy and buff and tall, people favor that. So unfortunately, in this day and age, you gotta have to actually make a bit of an effort if you want to, get seen and do things too, especially in this fitness industry as well. Because I get a lot of eyes because most of the time I'm in decent shape and people listen to me. Like Ziz said, if I was a fat motherfucker saying all this shit, no one's going to listen to me, So you really should take care of your appearance, and it will help with your confidence too. How old do you want to be when you get married?
I was 39.
39.
That was 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. How old were you when you got married?
27.
That's young these days. And you got 2 kids already? Got 2 kids. I want to be about 70 when I get married. I don't know. I'm 33 now, maybe 37. Okay. Depends if I can find the right guy. Someone cute. Yeah. No, I'll definitely marry the missus I'm with now. How much omega-3s, EPA and DHA, do you recommend to supplement daily, and from what source?
Okay, I prefer my preferred source would be cod liver oil. And it's a little higher in vitamin A and vitamin D. If you are going to use a source of fish oils, make sure it's good quality. You do get what you pay for.
What about krill oil?
That can be all right. I'm not too familiar with the quality of krill oil, but I would do this with your fish oils. I would bite into your capsule of fish oil.
You told me to do that.
I had you do this.
Yeah.
If it tastes fishy or rancid, throw it out. It's not worth it. It's gone off. You know.
So it's not supposed to taste fishy.
No. We think about if you get a nice piece of sashimi, right?
Yeah.
Does it taste fishy?
No.
Salmon or whatever? No, it doesn't.
No.
You know, and also you got to think about what you're getting throughout the day. Like if you're getting some wild caught salmon a couple times a week, whatever, you might not need as much.
That's true. I have salmon a couple of times a week.
Yeah, so bear that in mind. Yeah.
Okay, here's a very interesting question. Okay, when you're dieting down, how do you navigate with a partner or relative who has struggled with an eating disorder in the past and doesn't like the restrictive practice of a cut?
Okay. I could understand how that could trigger some emotions. So if a person's dieting,
interesting question,
and they're, you know, let's say they're counting all their calories, they can only have so many grams of this, that, and the other. You know, that might trigger it for somebody else. But at the same time, I would say, you know, that's their issue that they need to deal with. But you can also be mindful of being careful not to talk about it too much. So you prep your meals, you weigh your food, you do what you need to do. But, you know, you don't complain about, oh, I can only have 100 grams of carbs or whatever it might be. You know, no one's holding a gun to your head. No one's making you do this diet, right? So a lot of people verbalize it a little too much. Oh, I'm doing this, you know, whatever it might be, and I'm fasting, whatever. They talk about it too much. That might upset that other person. So I just do your thing and keep it to yourself to some degree.
Got to treat people how you want to be treated
100%.
in life. I maybe sit them down and say, hey, this is the journey I'm on right now. I know you've had issues with it in the past. Do you want to support me in my goals with this? Maybe we can change your opinion on and show what I'm doing. But
yeah, and you might not have them prep your food because, you know, if they're prepping your food, weighing everything to the gram, you know, and that brings up their restrictive thought processes. Because
they might have had a bad experience with restrictive eating or had a bad coach, and then like a girl's got too lean, lost their period. I've seen a lot of girls that get lean, and then man, they never get lean again. They're always fat for the rest of their life.
That happen many times.
Is that really common with girls? So
I don't coach girls anymore. I just focus on guys. But I have seen that quite. I've even seen it with guys too as well to some degree.
It's an interesting one. So you got to be mindful of how you treat people and things, because sometimes you're so confident when you're in shape, and it can come across as arrogance.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to be really humble and respectful too. Okay, how about this one, Scott? Thoughts on cardio while you're bulking? I have an active job and I still manage 8,000 steps a day.
Excellent. No, that's good. You do want to stay active while you're trying to put on size for a few reasons. One is it's going to help your cardiovascular health, like your heart health. It's also going to increase your insulin sensitivity. So if you do little walks after your meals, it can help drop your blood glucose levels so you can utilize those carbs better. And then also performance in the gym. So if you're doing a bit of cardio, you're going to be able to drive those weights without getting puffed out too quickly. So again, when you're trying to bulk, it's not about just putting on massive amounts of weight. If you can stay in shape while you do it, you'll be much better off.
And when I was eating in a bit of a surplus too, you actually encouraged me. I could do a little bit of high intensity training as well because the food was up. Recovery was better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
High intensity cardio I encourage during a push phase when you're pushing food up for those cardiovascular reasons as well. Whereas when somebody's in a big deficit, I pull back. Yeah, we pull back the high intensity stuff because it might be too much of a stress on your nervous system. So you could do that very sparingly. At times you do, but sparingly. Think about recovery.
I remember I was doing high intensity while I was in a deficit. Fuck.
I said, "What are you doing?"
I was falling asleep.
What are you doing? Yeah.
I pushed myself so hard. I couldn't breathe. I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Doing this circuit work. I'm like, I can do this. I'm a freak.
Yeah.
At work, I'm like.
Too much stress from all angles. Somebody asked.
Navigating diets, steps.
What do I do if you fall sick
during
a blast on prep? Do you drop any compounds?
Good question.
Yeah. So again, we're thinking about stress on your body. So when somebody's sick, please don't try to train through it. You know, your body's trying to recover. You can't recover from being sick and training at the same time. So I think that happened to you not too long ago. You were started to feel run down. I'm like, just rest.
And I
see how you feel
rested.
tomorrow. And how good did you come? You came good very quickly.
And the old me would have trained through being sick, would have delayed it. And that takes just being with you for a while now and actually making conscious decisions. Man, I'm having more rest days now. I'm freaking growing like a weed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then if somebody doesn't have an appetite while they're sick, that's fine. You're probably moving less at that time anyway. Being sick itself is going to chew up through a fair bit of calories, just trying to recover from that. So, don't worry about trying to push food in. Just listen to your body, rest up. And as far as the question goes, the compounds, that too much can be a little bit of a stressor on your body. So you can pull back on that a little bit during that time too as well. Maybe do half the amount, depending on what you're at. I can't give you specifics this time, but maybe pull back on the compounds during the sickness.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, last one, okay? And we'll wrap it up.
She's looking at rings right now after hearing that. You know that, right?
Yeah, I think she already started. She's a good girl. Okay, what are yours and Scott's current macros? How do you stay lean and shredded year round?
Well, let me interject something with you. You don't stay completely shredded year round.
No.
You do try to push things up.
That's right. You just see me shredded all the time.
Yeah, we usually push things up for about 8-9 months of the year.
Yeah.
So for the summer months, you're wearing less clothes and whatnot. We usually get you.
You just see more of me with less clothes in these months.
Yeah. So when he does push things up a little bit, you probably don't see you in that state as much. You're probably wearing baggier clothes, things like that too.
Exactly.
You never get fat. We don't let that happen.
No.
But in fact, I think you stayed leaner even than you needed to be on the last off season or during the winter last year. You probably could have even solved.
Because I did a few holidays.
Yeah, true.
So I went to like Thailand and Vietnam and a few Sydney trips. So every time I have one of those trips, I'm like, fuck this. Yeah. I'm getting lean.
And current macros?
300 protein, 250 carbs. My fat's probably a little bit too low, between like 40 and 50.
Yeah. I'm probably having about the similar amount of calories. Protein's about 250. Yeah. Carbs about 300. My fat's a little higher, probably about 70.
Yeah. Well,
it's enough to fuel my sessions, but stay in reasonable shape.
And
everyone's different. This is, don't necessarily think that, you need to follow that. So people might come to me and they want to get leaner, but they're not eating enough food to start with. So we might need to reverse them out of that first, or, like every scenario is going to be different. Cham's
behind the camera. He's one of my best friends. He's done all my video content stuff. Another guy, Tommy, does it too. But today couldn't have happened without Chamika Bandara. He does real estate videos. He does all my real estate videos. He makes pornos as well. Really good. But he's in the pornos too. I've been in a couple of the casting couches. No, I just take that back. Real estate videos, photography, photo shoots, fitness stuff. He's run a clothing company. He helps with clothing brands. He's a marketing, content creating guru. And I wanted to say, Cham, thanks, because I busted his balls to do this. We've got 3 cameras set up. I don't know how to. I'm good with tech. I tell myself I am, but this couldn't have happened without Cham. So big shout out to Cham. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll wrap it up now, Scotty, mate. I hope you guys like this.
First of maybe more.
Yeah, I think we'll do plenty more. If Cham, we can get you to set this up for us too, because it's a bit of work that goes behind it. And you see everyone starting podcasts. No one ever sticks at them for too long, unfortunately, because it's a lot of work too. They have big visions. I'm not caring about getting sponsored with this. I'm not caring about it. I just want to put out content to help people. I enjoy it. It takes time. I get to promote my brand in it. You get to promote your coaching. Everyone wins. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. So it's more content. Yeah. And Bulldog Studios, 34 to 36 Punt Road, Windsor. We'll see you soon. And please, this might be on YouTube, so like, subscribe. Can you please tell your friends and send them this video and tell everyone, get the word out there too? And
let us know what you want more of as well. If you like the Q&A style things, or if you want to, dive deep into one topic, we can always do that. Or if you want more topics faster, whatever we can.
Yeah, this was really off the cuff. We had the questions. I swear to God, there were so many more questions. We had to cut it back. But we're evolving, so we actually don't really know where it's going. We just wanted to try something too. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See you on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. Peace out. Thank you.